Overdid it a little bit. All right. So we've got 93 amps peak consumption, which is fine, I think. And then we have lowest cell is currently sitting at 2.8 volts, which is not ideal. Hey Skyforce, nice to meet you. Explorer fan, greetings from Germany. Yeah, I hope so too, Explorer. Okay, the battery is very warm. I have actually discharging it this low. Power meter says I've discharged 2.77 amp hours. So I guess it's probably as close to 2.8 as we're gonna get. I don't think that voltage is healthy though for a LiPo battery. So let me just see again. Yeah, 93 amps peak. All right, I'm gonna let it cool off just a little bit. And I'm gonna let it charge. But let me just show you something. Let me also get the charger. All right. So, just to get an idea, this is the battery I'm currently using in the plane, and this is the one I want to put in there to save a bit of weight. As you can see, quite a difference in size, and like I said, this is almost 50% lighter. Assuming I haven't killed it with this deep discharge, I'm probably going to be using it. I'll have to check the recording, see how many seconds this one was able to keep the plane in the air. Hardware list. You can, you can find everything you need in the video description. It's all linked in there. Maybe except this battery. Now, I am prepared for a with a contingency in case this test does not yield satisfactory results. The antennas you see in the video thumbnail, for those that paid attention to that, they're gonna be applied if the signal is shit and I'm forced to come back. Let me just get the XT90 to XT60 adapter, because of course I need that. Maybe I can put the battery to a very, very slow charge and try to pass it off as a lithium ion so it would start charging it rather than wait for some weird recovery. All right. Maybe half an amp. Okay. Half an amp and storage voltage. Go. All right. Wow. It doesn't jump back up to 3.5 immediately, which is interesting. Apparently, there's a fair bit of energy that this battery keeps under 3.5 volts. All right, let's see. Back still. No, I still have the MT11 because I'm lazy. Also, it's quite the capable gimbal, and I'm still waiting for C to release a firmware update, so it makes little sense to put the ZR10 back on the plane. More in center of your face. I'm listening with my headphones. Audio's only coming from the left side. Okay, so the microphone is literally right here. I don't know what's that about, but maybe I can take it off and put it here. I don't know if this thing has stereo channels, or maybe I haven't set up something. I have no idea. From the Philippines. All right, so we have some serious worldwide coverage. Oh yeah, for some reason I can see it here that one of the channels is more muted than the other one. I have no idea why that is. I have no idea, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it right now. We've got 19 people. All right, cool. Perhaps a few more people could join from the US, seeing as they should be waking up right about now. Usually the critique is that I do my live streams too early in the day for them. So hopefully this one will be more convenient. Also, one other change for this live stream. I have switched over to HEVC encoding. So I'm doing maybe 60% of the upload data rate I used to do for my previous live stream. So hopefully this will help in situations when the mobile signal is worse. So far it's doing great, no dropped frames, and speed is lower, and supposedly that encoding should be better. Time to go to work. All right, Jesse, have a good day, mate. Good morning from Iowa. Kyle, hey Kyle, nice to see you here. All right. So let's put the other VTOL battery in the plane. I can see the voltage of the main flight pack has found its merits. And Alberta can... Oh, hey Tim, hey guys. We've got Tim the Plane Man with us today. See? All right, let me just put that back on. We've got quite the global audience when I make the live stream a bit later in the day. All right, let's move some stuff around. Let's put this puppy in here, rebalance, and see how it's gonna work out today. All right, maybe just a bit tad more to the rear. There. All right. Perfect. Okay. Slovenia. Hey, Slovenia. Good morning, Tim, Kyle. The sea crew is all here. Yeah. Well, except for the manufacturer. And greetings from Germany. Hey, Dichler, if that's how you pronounce that. All right. I think we should get going. Right. Let me make myself smaller so you can see more of the screen. Okay. Okay. Let me have the chat up here. I've tried doing this live stream thing. There's a lot to keep track of when you're trying to fly too. Yeah, indeed. That is why I'm probably going to be looking at the radio, although... Okay, there's not that much delay for OBS. So maybe I'm going to be looking at OBS and keeping the radio down here to the side, although that is not the most comfortable way to do this. Everything's dusty now. Crap. All right. Okay. Okay. Arming. Come on. All right. Oh. Okay. Gimbal should be in the FPV mode because that makes it better, not as stressful when you don't know what's happening. Q hover. And let's go. I'll say it's got a decent climb rate. All right. Transition done. And switching to cruise mode. Let's go. All right. Well, signal's not doing too good, but I'm flying behind my back. Yeah, we're all rooting for success, but like I said, I've got a backup plan. I'm hoping I'm not gonna have to use it today, but let's see how this goes. Also, sadly, I'm gonna have to be flying downwind to get up there, which is usually not a situation I want to be in. But let's see how this goes. Good thing is the distance is not that great. Yeah, it has been green for a while. Now I want to put the plane right in front of me, so I'm gonna do just a little bit of that. That way I can keep better track of it. Come on, up you go. And we turn right. Okay. All right. Now, now let's try not to stow the thing while gaining altitude downwind. You're flying all there yet. All right. Chat has a life of its own. Okay. I can't yet tell if we're doing better than before in terms of signal. I am sitting down, which is generally a problem. Okay, so I might have to again reframe that. Crying out loud. Yeah, things are not looking great. It might turn out that it's not the tent. Also, if that's somehow the case, at least I wouldn't have to buy a new tent. So there's a plus side to it. I don't know, what are the odds that Moving the antennas up or down does very little. Left or right, very little. All right. But maybe it's not dropping down to 0 at 4 kilometers like it did before. All right. Stream's looking good. Chat seems to be working. And it's not gaining as much altitude as I would hope. But then we're still pretty low. And we're going downwind, which is never ideal for this sort of thing. But let's do a circle with the goal of gaining some altitude. If things don't go well, I have a backup plan, like I already said. So that may give you an incentive to stick around, see what that backup plan is. It's pretty extreme looking, but I don't know. If it gives good results, for the time being, I'm not feeling very optimistic. Or maybe all the stuff that's running on 2.4 gigahertz currently is messing up the signal for real this time. Come on. All right. I seem to be flying on telemetry only again. Oh joy. There might be some rain somewhere off to the side, to the rear and to the right. Hopefully the wind is not going to bring it over here and ruin the day. All right. I don't like this image quality indicator. I would really hope that C would give us an option to select the dB level, because first it's a lot more sensitive and you get the feedback immediately. You don't have to wait for the bloody packets to arrive, so it would analyze them, and then it's got a lot more resolution. So let me just get these antennas in the same orientation, because they were not in the same orientation, and keep going. Anything interesting? That doesn't look good. We are, well, turning around puts the antennas in the worst orientation possible while doing the turn. What is wrong with it now? It was 8 just a second ago. Oh my God. Okay, let's say we push them forward a little bit. The terrain's coming up at me fairly quickly. I feel like it's just same shit, different day. Question is why? All right. Well, okay. Let's do that thing again. Put the gimbal in this mode. Put the plane in loiter mode. Let me just rotate this to something that's worth looking at. Although that's... oh, there we go. At least if it freezes, it should have the end goal in sight. All right, now that the radio is working on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, let's do some things. I'm gonna switch the microphone system. It will be just a second before you can hear me again, so hold on. All right. Now I've moved to the... okay, that was a scary frame. I've moved to the... okay, nope. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be helping much. All right, let's switch the camera off. All right, that goes off. This goes off, and oops. Okay. I hope the plane's still there and not falling to the ground. All right. We do not seem to have any better signal despite me having switched everything off. So yeah, I am kind of stumped. Okay. But at least now there's no delay between me talking and what's happening with the plane. Let's step in front of the table for a second. Yeah, I know, because when I switched the DJI microphone off, the microphone from the Pocket 2 took over and I hadn't muted that. So it kept working alongside the microphone from the laptop. Hopefully now things are better. Maybe it would work better if I actually point the antennas at the mountain. All right, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. There's just one thing I haven't tried, but you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm going to unplug the HDMI cable. I want to see if that has anything to do with it. It'll be just a second. signal level, that's for sure, but now it's gone. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Well, how about that? Okay. So it would appear that it's the HDMI cable, because the signal got very good there. For a second it went up to 11. Yeah, who would do that? Okay, let me see. Let me see, how can I get this working right now? What if I try? Yeah, but then I'm gonna lose the video. I'm gonna lose the stream, which is crapping out as it is. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Hmm. All right, you know what? Oh, okay. Well, two things. I again did not have the gimbal recording. Brilliant, as usual. And then I put it in loiter very close to a hill up on the mountain. Blimey. Huh. Okay. Just color bars for the flight cam. Yeah. All right, give me a second. The problem now is I can try to hotspot the video signal to my computer from the radio, and cast that, which shouldn't affect the range. The problem is my computer is connected to the hotspot of my phone. So I'm gonna have to disconnect that, and if previous experience is any indication, that did not work out so well last time around, and YouTube decided to stop the live stream, so I'm not gonna do that. No, it's not lost. All right, I'm putting the plane into return to land. And apparently we're going to go for plan B. With the antennas. All right, let me connect this. All right. No, it's not a hotspot issue. All right, so yeah, I am using the HDMI cable, and that is most likely what's causing the problem, because as soon as I disconnected it a couple of minutes ago, the signal on the radio jumped up from like -2 to +11. So I'm thinking the HDMI cable somehow, or whatever's happening in the radio to output the video stream via HDMI cable, is messing up things. Let's disconnect that just in case, although no visible change in the signals going up and down. So so apparently 2.4 gigahertz hotspot isn't the problem. All right, I want to land the plane, and I want to put the battery on the charger. this one is almost at storage. So I want to put this battery on the charger, the VTOL battery shielded. I have no idea. It's an HDMI cable I have, probably costs $2 or something. So my bet would be it's not shielded. And it's right in there between the antennas. So I don't know. Better without the shade. I can't really say it's better without the shade. Might not be the shade. Actually might be the HDMI cable or something else. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Okay, but the fact is, at almost 10 kilometers out, I disconnected the cable and instantly the signal shot up to 11. Yeah, I don't have aluminum. I don't have anything that I can wrap around the cable that would have insulation properties out here on the field. But it just so happens that I've got something else. Buy a chip. Well, thank you, Skyforce. Very much appreciated. I don't think I need to buy a chill pill, but YouTube's not receiving enough video. Well, piss off. Okay. I got these. These are supposedly 2.4 gigahertz, 12 dB antennas. I don't think the 12 dB thing is for real, but at least these are supposedly 2.4 gigahertz only, while the ones on here are combined for 2.4 and whatever the sub 2G frequency is. No, these would go on the plane. This is what I'm having on the ground. These arrived yesterday, and I just now got them just before I left for this flight. I got this printed out and I mounted them on the antenna tracker. The only thing I'm gonna have to do is feed it the telemetry, which is coming down either way. I'm not gonna have it landing on its own though now. And let's stay on the outskirts of the village. Okay. Doesn't seem affected by the HDMI or LAN cables. I think it's not affected by the LAN cable. I do have a LAN cable, but right now I'm not sure if I want to put it. Oh, looky here. All right, let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Check this out. Ugh. Nah, it's not gonna get it. Man, dust has gotten in the zoom wheel. Yep. Look at that. Someone else is flying as well. But he seems to be going away from my location, so I'm not really worried about much. All right. I'll land it in just a bit. Patch antenna with ground surface. I'm gonna try the Yagis mounted on the antenna tracker. I have the thingy to forward the Mavlink from my laptop to the tracker, so I feel like that would work well. And I also have these long cables on the antennas, and they're thick enough so the loss of signal would be minimal. And yeah, I just need to land and recharge the battery a little bit while I'm fiddling with the antennas. And speaking of landing, I think it's time. Let's switch out of the cruise mode and nose down. Ah, there I am. Okay. Uh, hmm. Apparently this is where the wind's coming from. Now I do like to go lower. Lower. And click. And of course it has to go right over my head. Brilliant. All right. Okay, so let's get the batteries out for a little while. It's gonna be just us. As it happens, we're not gonna have any video from the plane. All right, so I'm gonna have this charging now instead of the small VTOL battery. That one seems to be saved. Was just There was just the tiniest bit of puff in it, but when it cooled down, it went away. Okay, LiPo. The battery, my field generator is not gonna like this at all. Oh yeah, no. Ouch. Damn. All right. Not gonna be able to do this as quickly as I thought, but maybe 4 amps. Nah, yeah, that's better. Cable length, anything to do with the performance difference of plugged versus not? Honestly, I have no idea. let's see. I need to set up the tracker. Stream up rate is looking good, although every now and again there might be some dropped frames for some reason. Anyway, let me put that a bit lower and okay. Now I can let me stop this, and I'm going to be switching the radio off so I can plug in the antennas, but I'm gonna let it save the screen capture first, and in the meantime I'm going to be putting these are probably 30 centimeters in length. Let me get one of the stock antennas. Okay, so stock antennas versus whatever this monstrosity is. I mean, yeah, twice, yeah, these are twice as long. Hopefully this is gonna give me a better range, because these are 2.4 only. These are not 2.4 only, these are combined. You asking, Kyle, you asking for this or the one I have in there now? The one I have, Cloud Panda. Well, panderism. You're joining maybe halfway through this so far failed experiment. I'm trying to get to a certain point in the mountain right over there. The current flight was not successful, so I'll be trying something else. Yeah, you're not so late. There's gonna be a second flight. I'm gonna be having these antennas on the plane rather than these. These are 2.4, these are 2.4 and sub 2G. You know, whatever that frequency is. Man, that camera is awful. Anyway, so these are going out, these are coming in, and I'm also, let me unplug this, and I'm also having these on the ground. Two Yagi antennas that are dedicated 2.4, supposedly 15 dB each, and I've got 60 centimeter cables on them. I'm going to try and keep the plane in front of the tracker at all times, so it wouldn't have to rotate around too much, because these are not the most flexible cables you can have, but they were the ones that gave me the least amount of signal loss. Also, I'm really not looking forward to hovering above the road there again. So I'm gonna move the plane here in front of me in the grass. The gimbal is not gonna like it very much, but it will have to survive. Let me put these on the plane. At least they have the same RP-SMA connector, so I'm not gonna have to use SMA adapters to convert. And I'm gonna plug the Yagis to the radio, and hopefully I'm not gonna have to stand up for this next flight because the tracker is gonna do all the heavy lifting. For the speed. This looks absolutely ridiculous. There, so you can see the plane. All right, let me just answer. Now, this battery, the one I want to use, the small one, is a Turnigy Bolt X. It doesn't say anything about it being graphene, but it's high voltage. And it seems to do pretty well. I'm gonna have to check the screen capture to calculate exactly how many seconds it managed to keep the plane in the air, but I think it will be good for one takeoff, one landing, which is what I need, and it will free up the enough weight for me to make a new battery and to have the plane end up lighter regardless. The battery I have currently in there is a Tattoo Racing something 95C 4500 milliamp hours, and it's not graphene as far as I know. There's nothing on it that says that it is, but it's working pretty well, and I can do, if I'm very quick, I can do 4 takeoffs and landings on it, but maybe safely do 3. It's a very good battery, but I'm carrying more capacity than I could possibly need, and this will allow me to fly further. Now, let's see what else is happening in chat. No Facebook. Okay. I think you should give up the omnidirectional antennas on the aircraft too. Use directional antennas mounted parallel to each other so that with 2 antennas you effectively get a mini array. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Right. Such open area. I just finished building an FPV quad. 48. What? 48-inch props. That's not an FPV quad, mate. That's a passenger copter. I'm sorry. Is 48 inches. What? Yeah. Yeah, record on the gimbal. Yeah. I will try to remember it even before it takes off. Get some batteries, man. You seem to talk a lot about. Yeah, because apparently this thing is only good for 74 minutes, and I'm gonna need more if I want to go higher or further. So there. 18S, 36 ampere pack. Oh my god. 18S, dude, you can fly on this thing. It's not an FPV. Jesus Christ. 48-inch props for an FPV quad. Yeah. I bet Joshua Bardwell doesn't have one of those. Okay. All right. Let's take care of the other side of the equation, the radio. And let me just get all of this away from here. Although I'm gonna need gonna need the USB hub. I'm not gonna need that. Yeah, these cables are very stiff. Jesus. Oh, but you know what? I have a wrench specifically for these. I'll go and grab it just now. Let me just hand tighten this as much as I can. All right. Okay. Maybe I can. Yep, I can make this a little bit taller. All right. So, I've got the battery for the tracker, and I've got the CH340 cable that would essentially be feeding the telemetry to it. There's a lot of cable here again, but the antennas have been outsourced far above where I'm sitting. So hopefully that gives us some good results. All right, let's see. What did I miss? Okay. What's crap? Yeah. Either WeChat or WhatsApp is fine for me. We're gonna have to find some way to exchange that information. Or, hmm. Or maybe you can send me an email. There's an email listed in the About info on my YouTube page. I'm fairly certain you should be able to find that and send me an email. Panda cat. All right. Where's my phone? Let's do that now. You seem to be hot on pandas, eh? So, are you German? The moment I put my phone down and the stream sort of slows down or cuts out. It's so annoying. Yep, German. All right, I'm adding you. Okay, request has been sent. All right. Okay. WeChat. Cool. All right, I got it. Now, what else do we have here? Freestyle flying on that. Oh, no. You're not gonna see freestyle flying on that at all. I'm probably the last one to recommend any advice, but but bought amplifiers, they sell them on AliExpress cheaply. No. Yeah, go to Pandarism. You're gonna see some freestyle there. The MFE Hero is definitely not a freestyle machine, although I've tried to snap its wings at some point. Skyforce. I don't think I want to deal with I mean, I want to get to the bottom of the issue because I've done 17 kilometers with video on this system. Oh, okay. All right. Good to know, Dichler. So I want to get to the bottom of the issues here because I've flown from this location with no issues whatsoever. And I wouldn't think I'm going to have to be dealing with all this crap now just because I'm live streaming. The thing I'm dreading now, though, is trying to switch from... Oh, hold on. Now that I have nothing connected on 2.4, I can switch my hotspot to 5.8 gigahertz. And I keep the radio on 2.4, and that way... All right, let me try this. All right, guys, fingers crossed. Okay. That's a 48-inch prop. Huh. Okay. So he wasn't kidding, guys. A 48-inch prop FPV race quad. Jesus. I don't want to be near that thing. Does it actually fly? Bloody hell. Oh my god. Again. Well, for some reason, the stream speed is acting up. Brilliant. Just brilliant. All right, let me switch the hotspot back to 5.8 gigahertz. There we go. And hopefully that would not lead to an interruption. All right. So I think we successfully switched from 2.4 hotspot to 5.8 on the phone. Now I'm gonna have to put the bloody thing somewhere high because apparently as soon as I put it down, the upload speed drops, or even if I don't put it down, it seems to be dropping every now and again. I wonder what's happening. It was running fine until now. Technology. Yeah. All right. We've put back some energy into the battery. I don't know if maybe it's time for me to take it out of here. Put it back in the plane. Yeah, these cables are hot. I'm gonna have to build a new field power box, guys, because this one is at its wit's end when I try to recharge large batteries. I certainly don't want to be holding this thing like that throughout the whole thing. Let me expand the other tripod and tape the phone to it quickly. Hopefully the stream's not gonna get yeah, I'm pretty certain Joshua Bardwell doesn't even know I exist, so he'll sleep well tonight. The chances of him seeing this live stream are pretty slim. And again, my phone is again taped up to a pole. This is getting ridiculous. Hopefully that's gonna smooth out the stream. Connection menu on. I run Wi-Fi on my deployments, no problem. No, usually when I forward the signal to the computer via the hotspot, if it's not on the same frequency, should be all right. I also have a LAN cable. I did switch it to 2.4 gigahertz only, just before the first attempt. Starlink. I don't know. I'm not making enough money out of this to justify a Starlink. Okay. This place is a mess now. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch it, and fingers crossed the wind doesn't pick up and doesn't blow the phone off of the tripod. All right. Maybe I should stop the charge, as pathetic as it is, and put the battery back in the plane and see how things go. I mean, even if it doesn't make it quite to the top of the mountain due to having wasted so much energy trying to achieve nothing else, at least we're gonna see if these directional antennas are working. And I mean, you can see how ridiculous the plane looks with these 30 centimeter strip poles on it. Yeah, luckily I'm outside the city, otherwise I'd weed out all the strippers around. All right. Let's get this show on the road for the second time today. Okay. Oh, I ah, nothing wrong with some strip. Oh yeah. Ah, hey Gary, nice to see you, mate. It's not foggy. Uh, it was cloudy, and I actually enjoy that because otherwise it would be scorching. Heiner Schmitz, we are about to start the second flight for the day with some ridiculously large antennas, both on the on the ground. They're not ridiculously large, but the ones on the plane, if you can see, the ones on top are ridiculously large. On the aircraft, position 90 degrees. Yeah, the camera kind of sucks. I feel like I'm gonna have to get a proper webcam for this. That's the camera. Sorry. Behind me, it's probably moisture in the air, and somewhere over there, it's probably raining. You have any idea of which one I can use to give it with battery? All right. Okay. Well, very much appreciated then. I'm gonna postpone buying one so I can see what you're gonna send my way. Now, let's get the tracker Mavic fed. COM10. Alright. And I just remember that I am going to have to plug in the HDMI cable, else you can't really see much. Mavic COM10 start. And yep, D-Link at 100%. The tracker is receiving the Mavic signal. All right. One more thing to do is reinstate the HDMI cable. Okay. There's too much crap here around me. Fairly appreciate the effort. Well, I'm very glad to do it. What's the alternative? Okay, something's not plugged in. Oh, all right, there it is. Okay. So let's try this again. As I was saying, it is my pleasure. I actually enjoy this thing. I don't feel like I'm alone while flying, which is nice. because usually for the most part I am. So, you know, rather than talking to myself, I get to talk to you so I don't look that crazy. All right, I think we're good to go. Satellite lock, this and that. I'm gonna have to raise my table a little bit on one end. This is gonna make getting up throughout the flight very tricky, but at least now I can look at the radio. Oh crap. One moment. All right. Okay. Starting gimbal recording. Not that. Okay. Sound like a broken record, but hit record on the gimbal. Yes, I did. Thank you, Dichler. Okay. Stream's looking good. No more lost frames, it seems. Signal's looking pretty good. And it has switched to channel 2, so it does do some channel hopping. If you guys recall, before the last takeoff, when I switched to 2.4, it set it to channel 6 for those who are still here. Now we seem to have like a proper full signal here, 25, 26, and it's not dropping. Let's see what happens when this thing takes off. I hope everything's working. Gimbal has home set. Bit low, yeah, but I can't really quickly recharge this battery because my field power supply is not strong enough. I'm gonna have to rebuild it and add more battery capacity, maybe move it to a larger case. Yeah, and there's not a lot of sun, so I can plug in my solar panel. Oh, the webcam's frozen. Oh yeah, hold on. Hold on. There we go. It's no longer frozen. All right. Yeah. Must have gotten messed up while I was playing with the Hev car. It's a BMW i3 and it doesn't have a 220 outlet as far as I know. Sounds a bit windy. Yeah, the bloody thing. I have the noise filter here, but it's probably picking up the wind. Yeah, it's a bit windy. But let's get going, else I'm probably gonna end up flying in the dark, although I probably don't have enough battery capacity for that. All right, takeoff. Right, gimbal is in the FPV mode, servos are working, motors working, and let's get going. I am going to have to take off against with the wind, sadly. But it is what it is. The tracker seems to be doing an okay job. Cruise mode. And let's put some distance. I can't really tell if it's pointing at the plane now. Seems to have gotten too far out too quickly. The battery cell is moving, it's just under load and it's staying, yeah, 3.5. No, it's not. Yagi's pointing somewhere at the plane. All right, I want to do a circle here. What is happening? The signal's going from 15 to 0 in split seconds. This is not normal. If this doesn't work, my next attempt would be to try and change locations. So expect something else from a different location. I have already pinpointed a few locations. Okay, I think I see the plane, if that is in fact the plane. And the tracker seems to be pretty much pointing right at it. I don't like the fact that I have to do all that altitude gaining against with the wind, but then again, maybe that is forward flight cell. I think he has them on separate batteries. Yeah, separate battery. I am not monitoring the VTOL battery. There's no city around me. There's only a village, but that village is literally behind the hill here. So it shouldn't be affecting the ground unit at all. But let's see how this goes. I think it's better than before, but then the antennas are quite extreme, both on the ground and in the air. No, it's a lithium ion, and it has already seen a flight. This is its second flight, and I haven't had the chance to recharge it much. But let's see how this goes. The signal seems to be better so far. Yeah, the antennas that are currently on the plane are supposedly very directional. They're still omni antennas, but as you increase the output of omni antennas, as you increase the dB of omni antennas, basically the donut gets squashed down. So they become directional in the sense that it's not radiating much above or below it. And in fact, the wind is pushing the plane quite quickly in that direction. It doesn't have time to gain the altitude needed to clear the ground. Well, we're gonna have to do an altitude gain circle here. Maybe do a slower one, so I get more out of it. Donut flat on the floor and stood on it. Well, Depends what donut we're talking about. I'm talking about radiation pattern donuts, but if you're talking Dunkin' Donuts, yeah, sure, you can do that, but then you're out uh, a yummy donut. So I don't see the point. Yeah, I do think it's looking better than last time. Now we have the problem of spent battery and having to do circles to gain altitude. But I feel like at times it is doing pretty well in terms of signal. I don't recall having 18 image quality or whatever that is out here the past 3 flights. So there. It gets squashed toroidal donut. Yep, pretty much. That's why I have no idea how this is gonna perform when I get to altitude. Although I will have the distance. Seems to be fairly alright for the time being. Now the question is the battery going to last long enough for me to gain the altitude needed to peak over the hill? I feel like I need to do another turn. Jesus. And no thermals to help out. I would have felt a lot better if the wind was the other way, to be honest. Why not fly against the wind a little bit and then go the right way? All up weight is currently, well, with the old antennas, it's 7,528 grams if memory serves. These probably added a few more grams to it. The flight controller is the CN7. Basically, other than, well, basically the whole plane is C equipped. So yeah, radio gear, gimbal, flight controller. One of the GPS units is the CRTK one. The other one is the Here Link, the Here 3. I used it because I had it. For some reason, its compass doesn't want to work properly. So I don't think I'm using it, but I am using the compass of the RTK module. All right, let's finish the circle and keep going because that battery voltage is not looking too hot. Let's see how far and how high we get. I'm still not over 100 meters, by the way, just in case you're wondering. You know, I'm still under 100 meters, well under. It's the gimbal's lens, you know. Those fisheye thingies are just ridiculous sometimes in how much they obscure things. Yeah, let's point that down a little bit. Are you using OBS to bring all this together or something else? I'm using OBS. I really don't have the time or energy to invest in something too complicated. Because you see, I have to deal with all this shit. The signal's still jumping quite a lot, but I feel like getting the antennas away from the HDMI cable has helped a bit. I just hope the battery lasts long enough to at least see the top in smooth video. Now the problem is, on the way back, we're gonna have a lot of side wind, although I guess that's still better than full-on headwind. I just hope it will make it. Good thing is I've got a separate VTOL battery, so even if I completely waste this one going out, I'm still gonna be able to land safely. So yeah, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. All right, signal looks good so far. The wide angle lens is meant to scan downwards. Yeah, really messes up with the perception of altitude, that one. Yeah, I know how it feels, Diggler. It's awful. I mean, but what are you gonna do? It is what it is. Yeah, if I knew where it is so I can land safely next to it, it wouldn't be lost still. All right. So apparently the system does better when you're using dedicated 2.4 gigahertz antennas and not combined antennas. So note that down in your notebooks. Also, I feel like the time is coming for yet another altitude gaining circle. Yeah. I mean, when you go to pick up this one, the other one's right there too. Yeah, sure. If you can give me the coordinates, I'll go do that. Otherwise, I'll try to not lose another plane, hopefully. Now, for the time being, my investment in these Yagi-ish looking antennas is paying out because they seem to be working pretty well so far, but let's see what happens. With the wind going the way it is, I'm actually hoping I'm gonna catch some updraft here around the mountain, but we'll see. I want to do another circle. Let's do another circle to get just a bit more safety in altitude. Coming up on 100 meters very soon. Oh, I'm actually into some clouds. Oh man. Usually I'm all for it, but right now they're gonna be more of a hindrance than anything else. Also, that airspeed was looking just a bit critical. How did I end up in a cloud? Okay, that might be an issue. Oh man, it took so long to get here. No, I'm gonna have to go around it. Come on, come on, come on. I think it's not gonna be that way though. Frick. The altitude I'm quoting is from the takeoff location. I have to circle because the wind is pushing me quicker towards the mountain than I can gain altitude. And the ground's kind of coming up at me pretty quickly. So now, against my better judgment, I have to go around the bloody cloud and try to get on top of it. You know, that's not something I thought I'd ever have to deal with. Troublesome clouds. Usually I love them. No, that's not gonna work either. So I'm gonna have to push it a bit more. Crap. Ah. Well, that's what happens when you don't make it on the first try. Come on. Gain that altitude. Might be wide angle low showing clouds are at the allowed height of 50 meters. Yeah. Looks like the mountain is in cloud too, maybe. Do you know the peak's altitude? Should be just over 110 meters from where I'm sitting. All right, making a little bit of progress. Have to go around it, but at least we've got the recording working, and I'm gonna have the 4K recording of this on the gimbal, so that's awesome. Oh, guess what? It just dawned on me. Even if you don't get to see this thing reach the peak, at least you get to witness live the first test of these directional antennas on the tracker, and you get to witness cloud surf, if nothing else. I feel like getting on top of those clouds. 11 p.m. Good night, Chris. The aircraft doesn't know about the wind direction. It makes its own wind. Yeah. Yeah, trust me, I know. It is a... Oh, I think I'm very close to getting on top of this thing. Assuming the plane doesn't stall. The signal's looking good. Just sitting there. Oh, the antenna tracker should be put to good use as soon as you can. It is an amazing piece of equipment. I know. I just know the battery hates me so much now. So much hate. It's having to work so much. That's why I need to get some better cells with higher capacity. Okay. Ooh, yes, let's turn this way. But I have drifted a little bit from the peak, but I want to get on top of all this. But there you have it. You witnessed a cloud surf, involuntary one, but you saw it live. I feel like the peak is in clouds. Oh man, come on. Let me do a quick check on their website. Because there's a camera on top there, and I can see if the peak itself is actually within the cloud. Naturally, it's taking ages to load now, because why not? Yeah, it looks like the clouds has settled around the peak. Darn it. Well, okay. Yeah, I know. But I didn't have any to spare when I was building the battery pack. Okay, so yeah. Sadly, the peak is in the clouds. So we're not going to be able to see it. Crap. Well. Yeah. Height is amazing, yeah. Weird weather, yeah, I know. The clouds are always so low. It's crazy, but I feel like I should be heading back because we wasted maybe 6,000 before, and now we're up to 8,000. And some clouds are getting in my way. And we're 13 kilometers out. Oh, yes. Let's go through here quickly. Just stop the gimbal from shaking. Just for a bit of smoothness. And I think we should be heading back now. There. I'm gonna put the gimbal in the smooth mode, and I can now use the touch screen, as you can see, to control it really, really slowly. Oh, this is brilliant. Total milliamp hours I can take out of the battery is 15.8 amp hours. So yeah, I feel like I put back almost 2 amps while I was charging the battery back. But I took out maybe 6.5 on the first flight. So there's not that much left in it. But when I get back to home point, oh, what? Ran out of memory. Okay. What memory? You guys still with me? Because YouTube seems to be messing with me. Said it's ran out of memory, whatever that means. Oh, this is beautiful. Holy crap. OBS says I'm still uploading. Oh, okay. The live stream's not gone. Okay, because the chat crapped out and it said it's ran out of memory. Oh, look at the views. I think the battery will make it. The signal's perfect, which really angers me because if I were able to recharge the battery fully, I could have had a lot more fun up here. Thank you, Drifter, but the damn clouds. I shouldn't complain. I mean, clouds. Also, given the conditions, we're making some good speed towards home point. But I really wanted to see the peak. You know what that means, don't you? We're gonna have to repeat all of this. But okay, I have to admit, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Let's try this. Ooh. Thermal view of the clouds. All right, Panda, we'll talk. Don't worry. Huge success. Yeah, I'm dual setup for batteries. Yeah. Check this out. It's awesome to have all of this into a single gimbal. I have to be honest. And you can also do this. So now we get to see all of it. Oh, let's check on the ESC. Yeah, you can see it right there. Of course, the temperature it's showing is not accurate, although it actually might be accurate. The temperature up there is probably very low. Okay, yeah. So the ESC is sitting at 8 degrees Celsius. Yeah. 8 degrees Celsius for the ESC. Not bad. At least I don't have to worry about overheating it, although that one is 120 amps, so overheating it would be very surprising. All right, I want to test something else because the zoom on this thing is very weird usually. When I use the roller on the radio, it doesn't show the zoom on the top scale, but it does show it when I use the on-screen controls. Come on. And in theory, this is still within the optical zoom range, maybe up to 9 or up to 10. It's within the optical zoom. But zooming in on clouds, kind of useless, isn't it? But this is beautiful, I have to admit. Ah, so pretty. All right. Let's see, where are we going? Let's change course a little bit. Oh, I can switch to return to land now. And we can start saving battery. Yay, we're gonna get the plane back. Whoop, whoop. All right, what did I miss? Ah, right, because it's freezing at 6. Yeah. Yeah. It is freezing up there, so temps are probably accurate. The camera is cool. CMT11. I really like it. Let's see if I'll be able to find myself. Should be right here. Yep. Yes. And let's have the gimbal tracking this spot. All right. Thermal sensor on these industrial grade. With calibration, it can be very accurate. Okay, good to know. I've used it to thermally inspect some transmission lines. Okay, awesome. 2.4 gigahertz is the resonant frequency of water in the air. Well, there's not much of it right where I'm sitting. But yeah, probably. Oh, okay, guys, officially this is my longest stream. It's gonna hit 2 hours in a few seconds. What was the price tag on the MT-11? It's, yeah. It's about 6,000 euros. Yes, iForce. I zoomed in on me. That's where I am. Now, the problem is if I try to zoom... Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. Let's use that to zoom little by little. Okay. Nope. Lost it. Come on. You're embarrassing yourself. Get back there. Come on. So I'm supposed to be here, and you can actually see the blinking white corners around the car is because it's recognizing it as something worth tracking. All right. And maybe you'll be able to see me waving on the gimbal. Although it's 2 kilometers out and sort of 80 meters high. All right, I want to bring it into the optical part of the zoom because that looks much better usually, and it's smoother. And mark this again. All right. Are you using the AI tracker or is it built in the... No, the MT-11 comes with the AI tracking built in. You don't need a separate module for it. An angel dies. Okay. So a lot of angels have died then. Oh, hold on. Okay, I don't want the antenna tracker spinning around. So I'm going to take manual control of the plane. And also, because I want to see where I'm going, let's start up the other camera. There we go. That way, I can fly and land, and you still get to see the gimbal tracking me. I love technology. Oh, okay, don't stall the plane. Probably should be high on my priority list. Okay. Every time you sigh an angel. Yeah, sure. Okay, I have no other choice. This didn't really go according to plan. The clouds are probably gonna be gone in an hour, but I won't be able to go and fly again. We've got some altitude to bleed, so just have to make sure I stay in front of the antenna tracker. I don't want it turning. Oh crap. I don't want it turning too much because these cables are not very flexible and they're not very long, so I'm gonna have to go the other way and drop some altitude there so the tracker can rotate a little bit to the left. But yeah, like I said, the MT-11 comes with the AI tracking capability built in. You don't need the external tracker. Let's see what else. Is that near Sofia? Yeah, no, that's Schemer Island. Schemer Island, yeah. No drone lows here. Which GS software you use? Well, what you're seeing is from the UniR C7, and I'm using C's Uni GCS app. It's very good. I love it. That's great. How about thermal? The thermal's not gonna see much from that distance, and it only has digital zoom. And right now, I really don't want to switch between the two as I'm trying to land it. No, Alfie, I don't use that. I'm not sure what that's about. At this range, Technologia, yeah. Yeah, it's great. All right, let's do another turn. Come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. What do you use to fly then? Oh, okay. You're not asking me. Good. I would think mine is obvious. And yeah. Yeah, having the leg of the plane go in front of the camera while it's tracking does sort of mess with the tracking. But good news is I'm gonna be coming in straight at me, which is also perfectly head on of the wind. Nice. All right, let's stop the altitude bleed for now. I've got 2 kilometers to go. I gotta say though, the gimbal's doing pretty okay. Somewhere there. Oh no. There it is. The wind is certainly trying to push me off course. It's coming along nicely, but it's for industrial users mostly. Wait, you're building your own app? That's nice. Cool. I-Force 2D, I did not recharge the VTOL battery because, like I said, I can do 2 or 3, maybe even 4 takeoff and landing sequences on a single charge. So I don't usually recharge it if I'm doing 2 consecutive flights. Okay. You can see me now. The gimbal's sort of tracking me there, and it's getting closer and closer. Where's the plane? 500 meters out. 20 meters high. This is brilliant. I need to stop losing altitude. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, and I want to transition so that it doesn't go behind me. Come on. And now I have to land. Whoa, the antennas are still there. The big one. Now avoid all the grass and plant it. Okay. Whew. Well, we done it. Now the gimbal's not gonna want to go up because it's sort of stuck in the grass. All right. Well, okay. That was sort of all right. I didn't get to the top, but at least I confirmed that the directional antennas paired with those monstrosities on the plane actually make a difference. The top will have to be left for yet another. Yeah, of course. The clouds are gone now. Anyway, at least the flight wasn't a complete loss. Okay, let's see what I missed. I fly FPV with drones. I have to live vicariously through you because we got another foot of snow. Well, northern Alberta. Well, you're pretty far north compared to me, so thank you, Robert. Very much appreciated that you were able to join us. Does this camera use digital zoom or a different telephoto lens? There's 2 cameras in there, West FPV. If I can show you here. So from 1 to 3, it's the wide angle camera being digitally zoomed. When you go, okay, so it's not 3. Yeah, this jump. So from 4 on, you can see the crosshair in the middle jump to the left. Is it 3.7? What is it? Come on. Yeah. So right about here, this is the wide angle camera, digitally zoomed. And when it jumps like this is now the telephoto lens, optically zoomed. This doesn't go into digital until sometime over 10. I feel like up to 10, it's still within the optical range, and anything above 10 is digital zooming. As you can see, it's starting to get pixelated. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. There's two cameras and they switch from one to the other when you keep zooming. So up to 3 is the wide angle one being zoomed in digitally, and from 3.5 onwards you switch to the telephoto one, and then up to 10 you zoom in optically, and then it starts to zoom in digitally up to 160. All right, what else? Correct Alfie, that's why I'm here. Learn a bit. Okay, nice flight. Unspectacular. Yeah, I'd say it was unspectacular. If anything was on fire, that would have been a change. That would have been something different from the normal. Yeah. Do you have any insider knowledge on what happened to Dragon Link? The website no longer works, no longer answers emails. I can't reach him to buy more stuff. Yeah, I noticed maybe a year ago that everything was taken down. Sadly, I'm not surprised. Things have developed quite a lot, and quite a lot of people, me including, were not able to get the performance out of that system that some people were claiming to be able to get. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I have somebody on Facebook that has the same name. I tried to write to the guy at some point to ask him if he's the Dragon Link guy. I did not get a reply, so I don't know. I've got a lot of Dragon Link stuff, but you know, slowly the HD stuff is sort of uh, taking over all of this. But check this out. This is awesome. And the antennas are awesome. And those cables are way too thick. Jesus Christ. Okay. Awesome flight. Thank you. Looks good. Thank you. Coffs Harbour, Australia, VK2 channel. I don't know what that is. It's so crisp and clear. Very cool. I need one of those. Yeah, the gimbal's pretty good. C do need to come out with an update for it though, because there's a few things that need to be fixed still, but software, hardware wise, the thing is brilliant. They just need to streamline the experience a bit more, and it will be fantastic. How you get it? Buy or they sponsored you? They send it to me as a loaner. It's a bit too expensive. They said they can't really justify sending me one for me to keep. So they had somebody in Austria refusing to accept the shipment because there was some scratch on the mount of the gimbal, so they wanted to return it. So the compromise was, rather than returning it all the way to China, they just shipped it to me, and it's sort of a loaner. Basically, whenever C says we need the gimbal, I have to send it back. But for the time being, they're waiting for me to fully test it, but I can't fully test it because they haven't released the new update for it, which is supposed to fix quite a lot with what is not optimal with this gimbal. So I get to keep it for the time being. But yeah, it is a pretty great gimbal. I do like it. And it definitely records higher quality video compared to the ZR10. which is one of the things I'm going to miss whenever I have to return it and have to put the ZR10 back in the plane, unless I get an 88 Mini, which actually, funny enough, get this, guys, the A8 Mini, which is a 100-gram gimbal from C, has a larger sensor than this gimbal or the ZR10 or any of the other gimbals C make. So in theory, the A8 Mini should be able to record the cleanest video of all of them because it's got the largest sensor, and I think by a fair margin. So yeah, there's that bit of information. All right, let's see what else. I'm pretty sure EORS killed Dragonling. Yeah, EORS had a lot to do with it. You know, Chinese making cheaper receivers and all of that probably had a lot to do with it. Like it, is that the mini crossbow? Yep, my Fly Dream crossbow mini antenna tracker. It works pretty good. I never had much luck with it when using the analog video signal through it, but out of Mavlink, it gets everything it needs to do the tracking, and it's working brilliantly. I have probably 6 planes on Dragon Link that are slowly gonna get changed over. Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me put the chat up here. Or I have to select it again. No? Hmm. There's Mission Planner. Oh, wait. The chat hasn't been popped out. Hold on. Pop out the chat. Live chat. And let's have that showing over the video. Yep, there it is. Hmm. 6 planes. Yeah, I'm slowly moving all of mine out of Dragon Link. Haven't flown on it in quite a while. All right, let's see what else is new in chat. Got it. Yes, if anybody deserves to get one, it's you because you really dig into this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I like digging into this stuff. Waiting for C to fix the software on some new propulsion. Yeah, the propulsion stuff is actually rebought as far as I know. It's not C. Also, this gimbal is rebought. They're very keen on letting people know that. 2 separate companies. It's not C. I would love to see a separate raw video of the full resolution gimbal cam. Maybe cut some boring parts out. If you go back through my videos, Pandarism, if you go back to through my videos, you will see the flight which I did with the Hero when I replaced the ESC. And then there's the cloud chase footage. That cloud chase footage is using this gimbal. And then a bit later on, there's another cloud chase footage, which I also did using this gimbal. And there you can actually see the raw footage, you know, accounting for YouTube bit rates from the camera's built-in recording. And you can tell it's better than the ZR10. You think the A8 is to compete for cinema gimbals? Alfie, I don't think it can compete to cinema gimbals, but then define cinema gimbals and what cinema gimbals are there for planes like this. The A8, all I'm saying is the A8 has a larger day camera sensor than this gimbal or the ZR10. In and of itself, that means that it should be able to record better quality video, especially in suboptimal lighting conditions. Vishnav K, can I get your Instagram? Well, you're assuming I have Instagram. I don't. Robert, I'm in agreement. They should give you that camera and gimbal for all the great content you've put out with it. Wait, we're talking about the A8 or the MT11? I know it's lower end than C, but how is SkyDroid compared? To be honest, I don't have any experience with SkyDroid out of an H8 radio I have that arrived with my HEQ K1 Swan Pro. It seems to be a decent radio. I have no experience with the gimbals. That being said, I hope that soon I might have some experience with SkyDroid gimbals and possibly some of their radios. Skyforce, the best part of your channel is you are transparent with all issues and fix them on the fly with live chat that actually is engaging, gets things working. As a team, I also love the chat. Thank you, Skyforce. I do enjoy these, as I said. And you know, I mean, what better place to do this than out in nature? I mean, look at this. I know the camera on the laptop is shit, but I mean, no bugs. I'm out in nature and I'm talking about planes. I mean, and nobody's bored or annoyed. But the gimbal keeps drifting. All right, what else? I'll check out. Thanks. Curious to see full resolution on the gimbal. It's 4K. I'll probably do. I'll upload the video, the cloud bit. I'll cut everything else out because it's useless. But the cloud bit, I will probably upload it as a separate video, so you'll get to see it. Of course, as usual, set the YouTube video quality to 4K to get the best bitrate, even if your screen doesn't support 4K. Cinema equals something like a Mavic. Oh no. Yeah, let me just clear that up. None of these gimbals can compare to a DJI camera. Nah. Sadly, no. It's sad. I don't like it.